Okay, let's make a stop motion. And we're going to use Blender as our video editor. So when you open Blender, you go down and select video editing. At this point, we're going to click add, and we're going to go to image sequence. I'm going to go to my D drive where I've got everything stored, into my Blender folder, and into Lego Santa. Everything in here except for that first file is part of the sequence. So I'm going to just click the first file, and I guess I could drag. But because I've got so many files, I'll click the first one. Rather than drag, I'll scroll all the way down. Then with my left hand, I'll hold down the Shift button, and wherever I click, it will select all the files. Okay. In fact, I may be able to just click above it now. Yeah, so if you go select the first one that you want, and then go down to the bottom, select the last one, and you should have them all selected. So again, click, hold down the Shift button, scroll to the end, and select. And you'll have all of them selected, hopefully. We'll click Add Image Strip. We'll know in a second because we'll see there's 414 files, so we got them all in there. And there already is a problem. If we try to play this, watch what happens. Okay, it gets to the end. So I moved the playhead. It gets here to frame 250, and then it restarts again. To fix that, we need to go up here to Output, and we need to specify that we have more than 250 frames. See the number 250 here? We need to set that to whatever the value is here. It's 414. So we click 414 and hit enter, and now it's going to play through the entire sequence. All right, all we got to do is export and we're done. No, just kidding. There's more to it than that. But let's go up here and just go through the export settings and actually go through an export so you see what that looks like. I'm going to keep editing this. I'm going to add music in here. We're going to throw some titles. We'll even throw some transitions in just to show what can be done inside of the Blender editor. It's pretty fast. So this might be all you need to create your stop motion, complete with titles, credits, transitions, and fade in, fade out. I'm going to start by selecting a frame rate that I want. I think 18 is probably closer to what I'd sort of had in mind. So I'll select 18 there. My end frame is 414. That's fine. I'm going to scroll down, and I need to select an output folder. So if you remember, it's D drive. Whoops. No, it doesn't want to select it. That's not good. Let's try again. D drive. There we go. Had a bit of a glitch. Blender. I'm going to go Lego Santa, and I'm going to select my exports folder. Accept. And just make sure that's right. If we go up here, accept. There we go. D Blender Lego, and yours is going to be D users probably if you're here at the school with your username, and then a folder if you want to make a folder. It would make sense to do that. Select FFmpeg. That's good. Go down to encoding. Make sure it's on MPEG 4, that's perfect, and make sure that your codec is H.264. I have medium quality selected. I'm going to go higher than that, go high quality. Encoding speed is good. If you go slowest, that will improve the quality. I'm just going to leave it at good for now, that's fine. That should be everything we need just to get this going. And so if we were to go up here and go render, render animation, and I'll start that now, it would actually assemble this entire stop motion, put it into a single MP4 file, and then we could edit that in different software and add titles and credits. I'm going to stop this though because what I actually want to do is edit it right here. I'm going to completely edit the whole thing inside of Blender. I'm going to start by saving. Call this Santa Blend. I've already made it. Oh, by the way, it's a bit quirky. When we hit save, you have to hit enter twice the first time you save it. Anyway. I might add a couple of things in here, and the first thing I'm going to do is drag this over a bit, and I'm going to add another image back from my D drive, Blender, up to Blender, Lego Santa, and I want to put this first image, I want it to pause on the first image, so I'll just drag it in there. And I want it to finish on the last image, and then I'm going to, and just pause for a bit, so I just drag that to the end. Okay, and I make sure I match it right up. So let's go to the beginning and play this. So it's paused, that's nice, and then it starts, good. Go to the end, and it doesn't play because remember with the problem, I've added more frames in here. To simplify things so we can see the number of frames, I'm actually going to go back and add the audio file in now. You'll see why that actually makes this easier. And literally, I had this selected already. It's from Incompetech, from Kevin MacLeod. And so this is a Creative Commons file. I will make sure that I give the right credits, and my credits attribution is important. And so what I'm going to do is drag that in here, And then I'm going to just scroll with the scroll wheel, move to the end, and drag this back. Whoops, add the end. There we go. And I'm going to go a little bit further because I still might add one more or two more things in. Okay, and it says 488. Why don't I just make this 500 frames long? Okay, there we go. And then I'm going to go back up here. Don't forget to do this and turn this, set this to 500. So now it'll play the entire thing if I hit this point. Not sure if you're getting that music. And by the way, if we go here and we go sound, we can select display waveform, and that's kind of the more traditional way to represent audio files inside of video editing. So I'll leave it like that. There's other things that we could select from this as well too, but let's just keep it simple. Yeah. Okay, so I wanted to put a picture of me at the very end. So I'll go back to my folder here, and I think up at the start I had a picture of me. I'll drag that in here like this, and you'll see why in a minute. Okay, so let's go back to the beginning. Oh, I'm going to play this through at the end. And you can see there was a little bit of a pause, and I think it's because it was a frame in between. Okay, there we go. All right, perfect. Next thing I'm going to do is go back to the beginning, and I'm just going to, all I'm going to do is just finish this up. Oh, I want to make sure there's no gap here. And there isn't. Okay, excellent. I want this to fade in, so I'll go add, fade, fade in. Perfect. I'm going to go to the end. I want this one to fade out, so I'll go add, fade, fade out. And I want this to blend nicely into this. So what I'll do is select them both, hold down the Shift button, select them both, and I'll go add, transition, cross transition. Now this is a bit different from many other programs. As I move this out, there's suddenly this, and all I'm doing is selecting the clips on either side and dragging them a bit. And what that does is create a transition in between them. So this clip here is the actual transition. It's really quite neat that we can do that. It's great actually. So if I play this, it's exactly what I want. Nicely done. Okay. And there's all kinds of settings that we can do with this transition, by the way. We can set this, we can reverse it. I'm not going to go through all the settings right now. You can experiment with that yourself as well too. Okay, so what's the next thing we want to do? I think I want to throw a title in. So we'll go add, and we'll go text. Now the titles and text for Blender, I got to be honest, are very simple. And don't expect a whole lot. You can only do one line. But having said that, it's sufficient. So I'm going to call this Santa, or Lego Santa, I suppose. Stop motion. Okay. And that should be there. There it is. But that's not where I want it. I want to move it down. So we go down here to the location, and I drag that Y, put it down close to the bottom. It's hard to see though. We could change the text color, and we do that simply by selecting the selections that are up here. We can also change the size if we want to. One setting I like is box, and what that does is really kind of nicely offset it. One other issue though is this is fading in, but the text is not. So with the text selected, I'm going to go add, fade, and I'll go fade in and out. And I think we're almost done. This is coming along quite nicely. I might want the music to fade out. I'll let you figure out how to do that. We could also shorten it because maybe it's a little bit long now. But I did want to put some text at the very end. In fact, I need to do that. And if I go to Incompetech's website, okay, so this is where Kevin MacLeod stores his music. You can listen, by the way, and this is you're going to want to pick music. But I do need to make sure that I give the correct attribution. And he actually has this, credit this piece by copying the following to your credit section. So I can only do this one line at a time, remember, in Blender. So I'll copy the first line, Control C. I'll go back over here. I'm going to go add text, and I'm going to paste that into here. It appears quite nicely there, and I'm going to make that a little bit smaller. It's a bit big. So maybe, or I'll just click once inside there, hit 50. Even that's a bit big. Let's go with 40. That's better. I'm going to adjust my Y, bring it down closer to the bottom, and I'm going to have to add 2 more so we get all of this, all of the correct attribution for his song inside of here. Again, I'm not going to show that. You can figure that part out. I'm going to drag this over. And I don't know if I did fade in, fade out yet, but I'm going to make this a little bit bigger just so there's enough space so people can read it. And I'm going to go add, fade, fade in and out. And you know what? I'm pretty happy with this. And don't forget, I'm going to save it. Okay, when I want to save it, don't forget at the end, of course, you're going to render it. And once you've rendered the animation, you're going to upload that animation into Classroom, and you're done. And that's it. Over and out.